Hey, what's up everyone? So today we're going to put on some of the front end components of the truck, and that's going to include Fenders, Fender Flares, and Fender Liners. So that's a pretty easy process, so that should be pretty quick. And then I'm going to show you the issue I ran into. I hope you guys learn from my mistakes here, because it's definitely something I did not know beforehand. All right, let's do it. So the first thing I want to go over before I install everything is just what I'm putting on today. As you can see, there's no valence in the picture. The valence is on order, and hopefully I'll be getting it, I guess, in a month or so. So yeah, right here we have obviously the Raptor Fender, OEM Raptor Fender I got from the guy down in Texas, as part of that package deal. Got the Fender vents here. From a guy on Facebook Marketplace, and then both the Fender Flare and the Fender Liner are both from carparts.com. It was the cheapest place I could find something, and even though they're not technically OEM Ford parts, they look very, very similar. This is, I guess the color is probably a little bit different, but I'm painting it anyway, so I'm not super worried. The Fender Liner, I don't know if the Ford OEM one is plasticky like this. It looks like it's kind of reinforced plastic. There's something on the inside there, some sort of structure. But I know my F-150 was fabric. So this will be easier to clean, which is kind of nice. Might be a little bit louder, I guess, for rock chips and stuff, or from rocks that are getting kicked up. But I did put it on the passenger side and it worked fine. So I think it'll work fine on this side. So, install is super simple. All the same attachment points as the normal F-150 Fender that you already took off to get here. And then I'll slap that in. Maybe I'll go over the Fender Liner, because that was a little bit of a challenge. And I'll show you what fasteners I ended up using to get the passenger side on. Alright, just one more thing to add. You're going to want to take off the headlight. It's going to make it much easier to get the fender in place and lined up correctly. And then you can put the taillight in. The headlight in, and that's just because of these alignment pins and tabs that are on the back of it. It's kind of hard to wedge the Raptor fender in. The F-150 one came out okay, but the Raptor fender going in does not want to. So, Alright, fender is on, as you can see. And so the next step is to put in the Fender Liner, and so I was kind of unsure on like what the order of operations were, but I'm almost certain now that Fender Liner goes in first and finished by the Fender Flare. So that means anytime you need to take the liner out, you got to take the flare off, and I think that's because, so you can see these indents here all throughout the edge of the fender, and that's where you put the clip or the fastener. That's where you put the fastener in that holds the Fender Liner in place. So when you put the Fender Flare over the edge here, it covers this up and you can't access it. So I'll throw this in here and let me show you what fasteners I'm using real fast. So I was originally going to go to AutoZone and pick up some clips, but it was like a box of 5 for like $4. On Amazon you can get a box of, I guess, 240 pieces, and it came with some tools too. This was like, I think it was like $16 or something, super cheap. So what I ended up using, what worked best for me with these Fender Liners specifically, so if you're getting the real ones, something else might work better. But I ended up using these GM and Chrysler OEM ones. So they look like this. They have like a little centerpiece that separates like that. And when you push it in, it flares out these two little, I guess, barbs that kind of like grab on. So that's what I used. You have to use a handful of them and put them all the way around. So not a big deal. I'll get that in, and then it'll be time to put the flare on for now. All right, inner Fender Liner is in, and this carparts.com liner was okay. It's definitely a little bit tricky. I think just because it was stiff, you know, first time getting out of the box, I think it'll kind of form to this shape now and hopefully be easier to get in and out of for the future. Just a couple notes. I did have to kind of like drill out these pre-drilled holes. All these holes already existed. I just made them a little bit bigger to fit the clips through a little bit easier. And there are 2 holes on the top, inner top of the fender liner up here, which they're not lining up nicely. On the passenger side, they lined up very well, and I got clips in there, and they kind of just attach to like the support brace down here. Sorry, I know it's a bad angle, but for whatever reason on the driver's side, it's not having it. I don't know if that's because there's a little styrofoam divider up here that's kind of putting pressure on it or what, but I think it's plenty secure without those 2 little things. Just one thing to note with this specific liner. So next, I'm going to get this Fender Flare on, and I'll get this one clipped in place for you guys. All right, the Fender Flare is on, as you can see. This carparts.com Flare, it went in pretty nice. You kind of have to manipulate it a little bit to get to flex and get everything to go in place, but really no problem. I think, again, that's just the nature of it being a part that was sent in a box, and it's kind of have to mold to the fender here. Yeah, I'm really digging how it looks. Looks really aggressive. I mean, just obviously like a regular Raptor would. And I'd also like the tan. I think it's called Terrain, but it's pretty sweet. That's how it looks with these zero offset methods on here, and 35 by 12.5. So it's looking perfect. It's the stance on the truck is looking really nice. So really excited. So let me get the other flare on, and then I'll show you what issue I found while I was doing all this. All right, so now I get into the issue that I wanted to talk about. So it looks okay from here, right? Not a big deal. But the issue is when you look at the line between the fender and the hood. There's about it's kind of hard to gauge on camera, but about a 1 inch, maybe ½ inch to 1 inch difference in height here between the hood and the fender. Now, this is not something I knew nothing about, and I'm sure the information's out there. I'm sure on the forums someone has put some information out and recorded this issue. However, I didn't see it. When all the research I've done, I couldn't find anything on this. So I just assumed that the F-150 hood would have all the same basic edge dimensions as the Raptor hood, so I figured everything would work. So personally, I'm not super happy with how this is currently looking. So I'm going to go over the 4 options that I think you can do if you're looking to do a Raptor swap yourself. And obviously this is specific to the Gen 1s. I don't know. Gen 2s, do your own research. I'm sure they have a whole bunch of different quirks as well. So let's go over those now. All right, so the first option I want to talk about is just leaving it like it is. There's a lot of guys on the Raptor swap forums or Facebook pages that leave it like this, and they're pretty happy with it. So it's totally going to be functional. You're not going to have any issues. It's going to keep the water out where the water's supposed to be out, keep the debris and rocks and dust out of where it's supposed to be kept out. It's just going to look a little funny. Again, like, it doesn't look awful, but it just might bother some people. A couple pros and cons. So pros, it's bolt-on, just like a normal Raptor fender, and that makes it super easy to install. It's relatively cheap, especially if you can find used takeoff fenders like I did. And a con would be just like, obviously, the poor fitment for this option. So my second option I want to go over is doing a bunch of body or fiberglass work. There's been some people on the, like I said, those Raptor swap pages who've had a lot of success with basically what they called shaving the fenders here, and also like building up some material on the hood. So I'm no expert on that at all, but basically my understanding is you can backfill the fiberglass under this surface and then sand it down, plane it down, grind it down, whatever, and you can get it to match the hood here. And I think that also works in conjunction with adding some fiberglass or some sort of filler material onto the edge of the hood here and then blending it all together so it looks nice. Apparently, some people have done this, and I think I saw some pictures and it looks great. However, I'm not able to do that. I just don't have the ability or the time to get that all done. So a couple of pros and cons for that. So pros would be the price. It's gonna be super cheap to throw that all together. And but some cons are it's got lots of work, lots of time, dirty, dusty, and you need the skill. I don't have the skill to do that kind of body work, unfortunately. Okay, so the next option is to go all Raptor on the front end. And so by that I mean you're gonna need Raptor hood, Raptor grille, and I was already planning on having the Raptor valence on the front. So the reason I wanted to go this route was to save money. I didn't really view the Raptor hood as being a performance need or a look need. So I was just comfortable sticking with the F-150 hood and getting the most bang for my buck. But my wife and I aren't really a fan of the poor fitment on the fenders, so we're gonna look at the Raptor hood. And so, unfortunately, the grill is only for the Raptor specific, so you're gonna have to get a Raptor specific grill, and those are hard to find and really expensive. So that's a bummer. But so some pros and cons for this are it's easy. It's bolt-on, not gonna have any issues. It's gonna fit like normal. And cost. So that is an extra, well, several $100s just for the hood alone. And the grill, I don't know. I don't have a solution for that yet. But that's going to be an additional cost that I was not expecting as well. And the last option I want to talk about are buying F-150 specific fenders. And so I didn't really understand what the point was before, but they have, they call them flat top fenders, which kind of come out, flat along this body line of the hood and come out. And they're made for the F-150. And what they allow you to do, is I'll put some pictures up too, but what they allow you to do is keep the stock F-150 valence, so it's less wide than the Raptor valence. They allow you to even run the stock F-150 bumper, and the only thing you're replacing is the fender itself. So it seems super simple and seems the most cost effective. I kind of wish I knew about it. I did not, so that's kind of, again, my fault for not researching it enough. But you don't know what you don't know, and you don't have to spend a lot of money on little accessories. So you don't have to buy the Fender Flares specific for the Raptor. You don't have to buy the Fender vents. That's either all built in, or like the Fender vent might not even be included or part of the new Fender. So that seems like the most cost-effective option. There is one downside with that option of getting the F-150 flat fenders, and that's they don't make a standard Fender liner for it. So what I have in now is the Raptor fender, as you know. However, sorry, the Raptor fender liner. However, if you go to those flat fender F-150 fenders, you're not going to have a liner, and you're going to have to get one custom made. I'm not really sure how expensive it is or how difficult that is to get done, but it is something that's going to have to be a little bit custom. So going over some pros and cons of that one. Pros are it's as a whole is going to be relatively cheap compared to making the whole front end of the truck at Raptor. But cons would be custom liners, and also it's going to be a different look. So with that, with those flat top fenders, you get this kind of sweep down from the headlights up. It's kind of an angle, while the Raptor's a little bit more squared off and it drops down here, comes across. So I think the flat fender look is okay. It's definitely a little bit more pre-runner than Raptor in my very uneducated opinion. But for me, I like this look better. And I think that's the route I'm going to go, is by replacing the hood and the grille. All right, so hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I know I learned a lot, and there's a lot of information I wish I would have known before jumping into this. So hopefully this helps you guys avoid the same mistakes that I made, and you're a little bit more knowledgeable when you go into this. I do still owe you the prices for everything that was installed in this video. So fenders, I'm saying cost $400. That was part of that package deal down in Texas. Vents, I paid a guy $100 on Facebook Marketplace. Liners, I got for $100 off carparts.com. Flares are $272, excuse me, from carparts.com as well. And a total, we're looking at $872 for basically fenders and all the accessories that go along with them. So things are definitely starting to add up, and I'm really hoping we're gonna make this worthwhile, and it's still gonna be cheaper than buying a equivalent Raptor. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I will try to answer them the best that I can. And if I missed something, please let me know. I'm sure it's possible, and I'm still definitely learning this process. If you guys think I am making the wrong decision, let me know, or let me know what you would have done for this. And us choosing the most expensive option definitely hurts a little bit, because I'm trying to do this as cheaply as possible, but this is kind of where we're at. So anyway, thanks for watching.